Hello and welcome to MT Squared, Minerva's 2-minute tactics for your procurement, which I'm just here to say first and foremost, a happy new year to you all. I hope everybody has managed to have a break over the festive period. I know it's one of the few times of the year where pretty much everyone does down tools. So if you have had to work, hopefully at the very least it has been quiet and you've managed to plough through some work. So obviously whenever we get to the start of a new year, it's kind of this whole thing of new year, new me and resolutions and all these different things. And of course, over that period of time, I've also had a chance to sort of stop and take stock and think about things over that period. And I think there's three things that I'm going to take forward into this year, which I thought would be useful to share with you. So one of the things that I managed to do over the Christmas period, which I absolutely love because I have time to do, is watch lots of telly. I do love my crime shows and all these other things. So I've watched films and all sorts of different things over the period, and it's been lovely. But what I love about the shows that I watch is that actually, if you look carefully, there's some really brilliant advice, life lessons, business lessons that you can find in there if you're looking out for them. And I've got three that I want to share with you. So the first show that I've started re-watching because my partner's not seen it before and it's utterly brilliant, is The Wire. It's incredibly dated now because it's 20 years old. However, it's still a brilliant show, and it's all about the Baltimore police and really their kind of interactions with the drug community in Baltimore. And what I realised when I was re-watching it is just how difficult their job is. And so in some respects, I'm not suggesting that there's similarities in the people that they're working with, but the job they do is incredibly hard. And what they were finding, the police, was that often they'd really be getting motoring on something, and then the dealers would suddenly work out what had gone on and they'd completely change course. And that would mean that the police would have to be incredibly agile in their approach. They literally went from having a brilliant solution to a problem to suddenly finding that it all switched and they had to rethink and do something completely different. And that bit isn't dissimilar to what you do in your job. You're forever finding situations where you think one thing's happening and then the rug's pulled out from underneath you and you need to think differently. So I think the key message that I got from that for this year is that I'm going to be agile. I'm going to think about how I can move quickly on my feet. The second programme that I have also rewatched is Ted Lasso, which is probably one of my all-time favourite TV shows. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. Everyone I've spoken to that watches it says it's the best show they've ever seen, pretty much. So I definitely commend that to you to watch if you haven't already seen it. And there's absolutely tons of lessons in there which are brilliant, but my favourite one is when Ted is in the pub and he's playing darts. And one of the things he comes out with is a Walt Whitman quote, which is, be curious, don't be judgmental. And I think that's a really good thing because this year we've got the new Procurement Act coming in. So on February the 28th, hopefully this time it won't be postponed, but there's a whole new set of legislation, which obviously for all of us is a real challenge because it's new and we don't know what we're going to be doing, and we're all going to be finding our way. And you could think, well, this is really tiresome and I don't really want to do that. But actually be curious, because I've started to be curious about it, and what I've discovered is that there's something called an open framework, which for one of my clients, it's a brand new type of framework, is absolutely perfect for something that they are trying to achieve as a trust. So be curious, have a look at the legislation, see what are the advantages that you could actually be taking from this new legislation. So be curious, that's my second one. And my third and final one is Blue Bloods, another police drama set in New York, and it's all about a family of cops and someone who's in the Attorney General's office. And again, it's a lovely show, but every episode they have a scene where they sit round the dinner table, the whole family together, and they just talk about things and they give each other help and advice and guidance. And I think that's, the very last episode has just aired, which I'm very sad about. But they ended the show pretty much by saying, be grateful. Be grateful for the people that you have around you. And I think that's so true. And something else, my third thing that I'll be taking into this year, which is to have gratitude for my colleagues, for our suppliers and for our customers. So that's my three things for this year. Be agile, be curious, and be grateful. That's what I'm going to try and do this year. Hopefully you'll find some things in that maybe you can do too. And until next time, soldier on.